All right. Welcome back, everyone, to Reality Lives with the Ives. I'm Will,
I'm Katie.
and we are here to pick up where Golden Bachelor left off.
This man tells no lies. We are going to get into the results of that super suspenseful cliffhanger they left us on, the rose ceremony. Gonna jump into after the final rose just a little bit. More on that later. And then, long awaited, we are finally going to give our thoughts on this current season of BIP, Bachelor in Paradise. We've been watching it, haven't really discussed it on the pod.
Mm.
Now is time. So,
Paradise. We're talking about paradise.
again, where's the lie? So, jumping on in, we left off with our dear friend Gary. He was shooketh. He was on his hands and knees. The man said he wanted to die a little. He maybe was going to throw up, simply pass away. He was gagged. He was gooped. He was guffawed. But here we are.
Can
He doesn't know that I have this dictionary in me.
we just say two things? One, what is gooped?
The kids are saying, like, he's gagged, he's gooped. I don't know.
See, gagged, I get it. Gooped, I don't know. Second of all,
He's obviously never been there.
as with almost every episode of The Golden Bachelor, at one point you're like, is Gary gonna die?
Yeah.
It's like, is the heart
This
attack
was
coming
it.
this episode? I don't know. But the stress, the anxiety,
It's simply too much for the man.
it's too much for our guy.
Yeah.
Also, he is, what an emotional creature. I mean,
Yeah.
the emotional intelligence this man
Don't
has.
jump around too much.
Oof.
But I thought you were going to say something.
No, no.
But yes, we know there are 3 women left, 3 gems. We have Leslie, Faith, and Teresa. He has already given Leslie the first rose. That was a lock. Seems all gears Leslie these days. It seems like they're making it a little bit obvious that she's the one, but we know that the producers like to edit things to try to fool us. So, it's anyone's game still. But we left off waiting to see if it was going to be Teresa or Faith getting that rose. We all know he told Faith he loved her. He has not shared that sentiment with Teresa yet, but I think he kind of told us in interviews that he's feeling that way. But still, he told Faith in front of her whole freaking family that he loves her.
Yep.
So we're all sitting here like there's absolutely no way that
No
Faith
way.
is not getting this last rose.
It was set in stone, in my opinion. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
our girl's gotten the rose last every episode. He didn't say he loves her. There's
Teresa.
the writing was on the walls that this was Teresa's last stand and final moment. That's what we saw
It
coming.
was time. I thought she felt it too. It seems like she thought, like, oh, it's me. I don't
think
know.
so. I mean, who knows, right? Like in those moments, it's probably difficult to not only be confident because you're there, but also obviously have a lot of anxiety thinking, I'm still only one of 3.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably in those moments where your insecurities really come out. Like,
sure.
especially for her, she looks fantastic, right? But she's looking to her right, to her right at 2 women that are both like model-esque in size and stature. They're both like
Well,
taller.
Leslie is the most petite woman out of all of them. She's the shortest one.
I don't think so, right?
Teresa looks really small, but Leslie
I'm
is very
pretty
petite
sure
as well.
both
Faith
Leslie
is definitely
and Faith
taller
are
than both
like
those women.
5'9" or above.
No, absolutely wrong.
Okay,
Leslie is the
I mean-
shortest one at that rose ceremony. I can picture in my head.
Well,
I think.
I disagree with that. So we'll
Well,
see.
as usual, I'll prove you wrong
Okay,
after we record.
fair. You know what? I'll look it up while we're sitting here. Go ahead.
for it.
Okay.
So, yes, we see, spoiler alert, if you haven't watched yet, sounds like your own damn problem. But yes, we see in a shocking turn of emotional events, Faith, in fact, does not get Gary's final rose. He says, Teresa, we are all shocked. flash to the audience in the After the Final Rose. Whoa, that was a mouthful. In the AFR, ATFR, whatever studio, they are just as shocked as we are. But he gives Teresa that rose, asks Faith if he can walk her out. It's pretty emotional. Gary is obviously crying. He cries every rose ceremony. Excuse me. It's early. Sunday morning vibes, you know. But yes, he's emotional. Faith is emotional, but I think she's more in the shock state. So she isn't saying a ton. They hug. They say goodbye outside on the good old bench. Really wish you would wait till after to talk about that and look that up because it's just a big old waste of time and you're wrong, right?
No, I'm right.
No, I could find the picture of all of them in a line. You're wrong.
Okay. Anywho.
Okay. But yes, he says goodbye to Faith. Super emotional. Now, right after the final rose, full disclosure, full transparency for you guys as usual. We certainly did not watch the full after the final rose. Those women are amazing. It is no shot at them. Just could not do it. Other things going on. And that is life. We did fast forward to see Faith and Gary have some closure and talk a little bit.
I mean, it was very emotional.
Yeah, I definitely cried.
I think it's difficult to see anything harder than people in the late stage of their life just breaking down. You kind of expect that they have that level of wisdom and experience that they don't get, overly emotional, or you don't really see like that side of, I don't know, it's almost like they just have such thick skin and so many experiences. We always kind of see like they're just these badasses.
Yeah.
But to see a 70-year-old woman break down is a lot harder, in my opinion, than like a 25 or 30-year-old woman.
Well, we've said that similar sentiment this whole season. It's just much more real, and the stakes are just way different, way higher.
It's like life-changing stuff. It's like these 30-year-old women are like, oh, I thought I was going to win this. I thought I was going to become my life.
Not even 30, like 24.
But I don't, Well, now there's a million men in my DM.
Slide it in the DM.
I'll survive. And then there's a woman on the other end of the spectrum where it's like, I give up on love. I give up on happiness and connection. And this man, for the first time in 30 years, has showed me that I can have love and connection again. And all
there's good guys out there. I had hope.
And then it was taken away in a blink of an eye. And so it's just the drama and the feelings are way more intense. It's interesting.
Yeah. Exactly. It is very heartbreaking. Anytime one of the women is sent home, this was obviously the worst and hardest goodbye for Gary and for all of us. Faith's a real one. We don't get much closure, in my opinion, in their final conversation after the final rose. They kind of just back and forth, show a lot of respect and love for each other, as expected. I mean, everything that they felt was real, things like that. But we don't get down to the why, why it wasn't her, why ultimately his love for her, because he said he's in love with her or was in love with her, and that was very much real. Why was that not enough? We can surmise and guess that it probably had a lot to do with the farm of it all. Not that that's her fault, but the distance just wasn't going to work. Both of them seem like they absolutely do not want to move. So I think he was just like, I could see myself being with this woman. He probably could see himself with all of these women at this point in the game. But who's going to make the most sense and actually really work with the lives that we have, where we live, our kids, our grandkids, etc. And I think being at Faith's farm, seeing how special it was to her, he was like, I can't take this woman away from where she's meant to be, just like I can't lie to myself and leave where I want to be at my lake house and stuff like that. So I want to guess and assume, maybe presumptuous, that that's probably the main reason.
I think we can actually do even a little bit better than that, because there's conversations that we don't see, right? Sure. And in there, after the rose, whatever that conversation.
After the final rose.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah. They're talking. She drops a hint in terms of she knows it's because of the distance. Because
Yeah.
she says something along the lines of like, I would have, you know, done whatever, given up
Yeah.
whatever, like that
Yeah.
type of stuff. So
Yeah.
it makes me think there clearly was some sort of conversation where they
Mm.
talked about that or he expressed it, but we never saw it
Well,
because
we
she's
saw them talk at hometowns, and she said something like, I feel a pull to stay here, but for the right thing, like I'm willing to do whatever it
like
takes. She made some assumption like that.
yeah, it's interesting because on one hand,
Like
she's
Gary doesn't
very
want to make her
lost
do that,
and confused as to why it didn't work out. But on the
Mhm.
other hand, you can tell that she like knows that was the biggest part of it. So it's, I mean, I feel for her, obviously. But at
It's
the same
unfair.
point,
Feels unfair,
yeah,
because everything else was there in her eyes.
it's like,
It's
I would have
unfair.
done this for you. I would have
Yeah.
given it up if you asked me
Almost
to,
like you're
you know?
assuming that
Yeah,
was like
yeah.
a deal breaker for me before we even
Men,
fully discussed if it was or not.
we assume a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, man. Yeah, trash. But anyways, that is kind of where we leave Gary Jerry, King Sweet Angel Turner. We do see a little preview for what's to come. There is going to be lots of fantasy suite shenanigans happening. Very, very interested to see what happens there. Just all signs point to Leslie still. Just jumping right in with my predictions. I think it's got to be Leslie. I think he really loves Teresa too. He sees how sweet, awesome, loving she is. She would be like that ride or die. I hate to say it, the safe choice. That's the woman that rides for you forever.
Wow.
Leslie's the black sheep, more dangerous rocker girl choice.
It's funny
It's
you say
Susie
that.
Homemaker, and it's the girl who's like rocking on a motorcycle. And at the end, the dangerous choice wins. So I think he's ready to
I
have
mean,
some fun the rest of his life. And
gosh,
Leslie deserves this too. She's a fucking queen. So I think it's going to be Leslie
I
or
think you're
Teresa.
right. And it's funny because I feel the exact same way.
I know.
And
I knew you would.
what's interesting is that we often, I feel like, look at our parents or our grandparents and we forget that they're still that young, childlike, just human aspect of their, lives and kind of humanity.
Playfulness and young.
Yeah, and so it's like, even though Gary's 70 and you're like, all right, at that point, this man's going to make the safe choice. Of course he's going to make the safe choice.
Nah,
There's still
not
that,
Gary.
there's still that kid in him that's saying,
Yeah.
I want to, I want to date the hot, dangerous girl. I want,
you
want to
said
feel
this last
challenged. I want to
episode.
feel,
Yeah.
yeah. And so and candidly, right? Like he's with the same woman since high school, so he never really had the chance to maybe explore that side
It's
of
the
himself.
dangerous
So
choice.
there might be a part of him that's like, now's my time. I've been with my high school sweetheart for my whole life.
Teresa is that high school sweetheart. She's the typical, just like loving, supportive ride or die.
And
Like,
we don't know
yeah.
about his relationship with his wife.
Yeah.
She might have
could have
been
been a
very
badass
similar
witch.
to
Yeah.
Teresa.
Yeah.
Or the opposite. We don't know. But I'm making the assumption that she was more similar to
Yeah.
Teresa.
I agree.
Because, and this is also just making a lot of assumptions, right? But if his wife was kind of like that badass, troubled, dark, whatever
He probably would
adjectives you want
want
to
the more
use,
calm,
she-
safe choice.
well, she probably wouldn't have married him and been with him straight out of high school. She probably would have had a more tumultuous dating history.
She would have taken her time, been a little more free. Yeah, I
Yeah,
hear
she
that.
probably would have
Yeah.
like broken up with him in college, and they would have had their time apart, and then
We're
got back
assuming a
together.
lot,
Exactly,
yeah.
and I said that. I'm
And by we're, I mean you. But
assuming a
yeah,
lot, but yeah. So
But-
I agree.
I just think I agree with all of that for sure. I also think that there is that sweet, sensitive, homemaker, loving side of Leslie too. Like, I'm not trying to say she's just this woman of mystery who just flies by the seat of her pants all the time, no stability. She's not this loving, sweet. She certainly is. I mean, she's a mother. We
Yeah.
saw her sweet, tender side a little bit more when she was at her hometown.
100%.
So I think that he's seeing, she's a multifaceted lady. I don't know. I think he really likes Teresa too. So I wouldn't be shocked either way, but I would put money on Leslie at this point.
I would too.
Yeah. And
We'll
with
see.
that, yes, very excited to see that outcome. I'm not sure if it's next week. I think it's stretched to the end of the month and then we have a Thanksgiving break, that kind of thing. But rooting for Gary always, rooting for his happiness and the ladies' happiness. Very, very excited to see what's going to happen. Sad that we're kind of nearing the end of the season. This has been such a joy. But alas, where there is joy, there must be sorrow. Bachelor in Paradise.
Dun, dun, dun.
Now, we're big BIP fans usually, and we still are. It's usually a super fun watch. We are all looking forward to it all year. It's really exciting to see who from each season gets chosen, who connects, whatever. The young hotties. It's a fun time. It's an all-star kind of vibe. And I'll be honest, the first half, first 3/4 even so far of this season have been a fucking snooze fest. We have pretty much had half our hearts in it. So that's kind of why we haven't even bothered recapping.
It's not the best.
It's cast. Some
it's
of
mid-grade.
The people, they chose, I'm just going to say it, a lot of duds, a lot of losers, especially in the men, in my opinion. They picked a lot of nobodies, and that's mean to say, but we want the big players of every season, you know? And it's like, gone are the seasons where we have like Grocery Store Joe, we have Dean, we have like these power players, Wells, you know, all these good people. Like
Wells.
It's not the same, you know, but they try. They threw in the GOAT, Rachel, gave us a bachelorette. That's always exciting. Becca, I believe, was the first bachelorette ever to hit the sand. Worked out for her and Thomas in the end. So love that Rachel was doing this. She's been done dirty by the franchise a little bit here. She's had 2 rough goes. So, you know, at the start of this, we're like, oh, Rachel needs a win. She's certainly probably not going to want to get engaged on a show like this again, but hopefully she finds a good relationship, leaves in love.
We'll see.
Obviously, that's been a dumpster fire.
I've got some opinions on Rach that we can get you soon.
Yeah.
Before we do, though, I do want to mention a thought that I had on the Wells front.
Okay. Not a big important player in this season, but
go
on.
But I do think we're not going to have him in the show for many more seasons.
No, he wants his contract.
If you can see it, yeah, he hates
it.
I forget if he's dating or married to.
He's married to Sarah Ireland.
Married now. Okay, yeah. So they're married to. She's just. His status keeps kind of elevating, and he knows that, and you can see that his patience is kind of becoming thinner.
He doesn't need the franchise,
and there's like situations and conversations where he's just like. Not unhinged, but he's just like...
Wells and Kat, like, could he not want to talk to anyone less? Wells is the type of woman that would literally...
Wells is the type of woman?
Kat is the type of woman who Wells would literally rather slam his head against a brick wall than talk to. Let's be real. He's it's like, funny. I hate you people.
Yeah, so Wells, we love you.
When he
I love the honesty, but you can tell he's going to be gone soon.
He's over it. 1,000%.
Yeah.
Good. I was worried about where you were going to go there. But yes, Wells is so over it. He doesn't need the money, let's be real. So I agree. He's going to retire soon. But ABC is probably like throwing a good amount of money at him. So at the end of the day,
trying hard.
Should I go to Mexico for a month and record 5 hours a day, not even, and make a lot of money? Probably. So I could see both sides.
He has to live there, though. I'm sure the whole season, right?
Honey, it's like 3 weeks. And Sarah Hyland's at the resort hanging out with him. And he records a couple hours a day and then eats and drinks and lives.
Is she, though? Because
she is.
What about Love Island? Love Island.
Do you think they're both recording the exact 3 weeks? No, that's pretty unlikely.
Right.
I love you, but I follow these people on Instagram. You see her like tagged in Mexico all the time. She's with him.
Yeah, okay.
Just like when Charity came down, spoiler alert, I bet Doton's there too, in the room.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
Maybe not, but I guarantee he's visited her at Love Island and she's visited him at Paradise. 1,000%.
Okay.
And he's at he's staying in the nice resort in a fucking suite, being treated like a king and making bank. Why would you not? It's like 3 weeks out of his life.
All right. Well,
it's a good gig to have, but he does not need it.
Yes. Okay.
He's above it, sure. But let's jump in to who's really gonna need a chiropractor after this season. Not our favorite human by any means, but the girl has been carrying this whole season on her back. She's gotta be in pain. Cat. Kitty cat. And not the kitty cat, actually. That's confusing because there was a girl named Cat that had cat things going on with her persona. But no, this is Cat. This is your local mean girl.
Cat's a perfect example.
You can't write this character. She's reality TV gold.
I mean, she's in real life probably trash.
Nightmare.
Reality gold, sure.
Trash, that's fine.
But it goes to show how when you are born at a certain level of attractiveness, it's difficult not to be,
Entitlement.
yeah, um, kind of a
She's used to getting everything
shitty
like
person
that
sometimes.
when
Yeah,
she
well, it's
wants
just
it.
you don't always develop certain, I don't know, positive personality traits, and you expect things to work your way, revolve around you. When things don't work, you don't take ownership. You instead throw it at other people. So there's a lot of personality traits that I think are very red flag
Mhm.
worthy for Kat. But they make for great television, so I
Absolutely.
appreciate it.
And I don't want to, I got to start by saying Kat is a human. She makes mistakes. I'm sure there are a lot of redeeming, great qualities about Kat, not trying to just villainize her completely. She said she's best friends with Charity, which is interesting because Charity has seemed nothing like a sweet angel woman to all of us. So interesting that she would have somebody like Kat that close to her, but women throw the word best friend around a lot. So I'm going to take that with a grain of salt. I think they're homies from their season in a group of homies from that season. Is Kat Charity's first call when she's crying over Doughton? No. you know, is Kat the friend you go to for advice? Hell no. Kat needs other opinions and advice. But let's talk about Kat's journey a little bit. We see her with Brayden in the beginning. Seems like Brayden is a smitten kitten. They had a good thing going. I like Brayden a lot. He's a misunderstood character. Do I like his earrings and his scarves on the beach? Absolutely not. I have eyes. But I think Brayden is a sweetheart inside. He's young.
He's
He's
all right.
not pretending to be holier than now. I think he presents himself who he is and take it or leave it, and I can respect that. I think he was villainized wrongly on Charity's season. I think he's a good dude. So seeing him and Kat, they both seemed really happy. What happens?
What do you think happens?
A hottie walks down who is more aesthetically that modelly, hot, rugged, typical handsome man vibe. Kat is on over to Tanner, leaves Brayden in the dust.
Well, any sign of trouble with Kat, she immediately just says it's the other person, and then she goes, "Cool, I'm gonna move on to left
I don't even
problem."
care. And then
Like,
goes to
oh,
the interview
oh,
and
there's
is
a
so
problem here.
bothered.
Oh my God, this person's the worst. This new person that I don't know, they're gonna be best.
Yes,
And then a week
100%.
later, oh my God,
Well,
this new person, they are gonna be best.
yeah. The thing is Brayden didn't do anything. They didn't have some falling out fight. Things were really good. They're
Yeah.
like literally making out all day, every day, seeming really happy. I think Brayden would have left with her and really like loved her. I think he really, really liked her and
Oh
started
yeah,
something with her. I think they could have like been something.
I mean,
They would have
Braden's just
fizzled
a
out in the real
little
world
puppy
because she's
dog.
the worst, but
Yeah.
but they could have stayed together on Paradise. Brayden's stupid ass probably would have proposed. Like, let's be real.
Catch is a perfect example of how people today don't understand that relationships aren't just you fall in love,
Let's find
you
the most
meet,
aesthetically
you're a
pleasing
perfect
person
match.
and make them
Relationships
mine.
are work.
Yeah.
All of you out there who
Work.
are like, I'm having trouble, my relationship's not easy, blah, blah, blah. Normal. That's
Nothing
okay.
worth having is easy.
Our relationship is amazing. It's also a ton of work,
Yeah,
as everything
for sure.
is, because being human is hard and being human with somebody else is even harder.
Yeah.
So,
Preach.
yeah, I think she just needs to realize everyone's flawed and it takes work to make a relationship successful. And I just don't think she sees
She's
or is
very
willing to
immature.
accept the work,
Super immature.
nor is she willing to work on herself. I think I'm perfect, I'm young, I'm hot. I need someone that's going to see that, believe that,
Treat me like
as
a
that,
queen.
and that's it.
Despite how I treat them back. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
She's a lot of entitlement vibes coming from Kat. She's a girl who gets what she wants and is not used to hearing no. So Tanner comes. She literally throws Brayden away like yesterday's news. Goes on the date with Tanner. They're together from then on until recently.
Until flip flop situation, then she's old news to Tanner all of a sudden. And this was
On her birthday, nonetheless. How dare he?
this is the funniest thing. It
This
just
was
goes
a
to
great
show
episode. This is where it
how
started to turn.
She's
Yeah.
clearly created these walls around herself to protect her feelings and sense
She's
of
got the
confidence.
stone cold bitch thing.
Well, yeah.
Yep.
He he ends it very clearly. He's like, yeah,
Respectfully.
it's not
Like,
really
he's pretty
happening.
calm
Whatever have you.
demeanor.
She loses it. She's
Not to
unwilling.
him, to
No,
us. Yeah.
unwilling to have him end it. So then she immediately goes,
Goes to the
like a
girls.
politician. She's like, I need to control the story. So she
Goes
goes, well,
to
he
all
goes,
the women. Yeah.
I ended it. It wasn't working. We ended it
She's
mutually.
like, it
Blah
was
blah blah. Whatever.
mutual.
He's the worst. All this stuff. It's like, girl, we know you still like him. We know
You
you're feeling
forget that this
salty.
is all recorded because
We see it.
run it back. He just dumped your ass, girl. You got dumped.
It's
Own
so
it.
funny.
Like,
Yeah.
and she's coming off as a very unsympathetic character, even in that they're on the day bed or whatever with all the women. I think they're like drinking mimosas, having a girl little morning. It's cute. And she tells them all, like, guys, it was mutual. And they show the faces of the other women and her friends. Excuse me. Jess is like one of her best friends on the beach. They're all like, yeah. They aren't buying it for
Yeah.
a second. She would have looked so much more real and likable if she was like, I'm pretty bummed you guys, he just ended, and was genuinely like a little upset and showed her real emotions instead of using the bitch tactic. She's like, no one can hurt me. I'm not going to sit here and be a crying baby. So she puts up these harsh walls,
Yeah.
She's clearly has a soft side to her that she's hiding by what she thinks is a better side, but it's
Life tip,
making
friends.
her look bad. Be vulnerable. Be real. We'd like you a lot more.
That's the thing. Everyone thinks they need to be so cool and so funny and so strong
It's
to make
cool
people
to
like
be
them.
uncool.
It's the opposite. Guess
Yeah.
what? We're all self-conscious. We're all struggling, and we want to know that other people are doing the same thing. So when you can tell somebody and show somebody that I'm struggling, I'm not okay, it's attractive.
The
It's not the
women
opposite.
would
Oh,
relate
yeah.
to her and respect it a lot more.
No one
Yeah.
we know you're not
Everyone
perfect.
would.
You don't need to pretend you are. And then when you do that, it makes your relationships weakened because there's a lack of trust all of a sudden that starts to exist. So don't be afraid. Be vulnerable. Be real. We're all struggling. Talk about it.
Yeah. And I got to give it to Tanner. Honestly, snooze, boring ass character. Good to look at, brings nothing to the table. I'm sure he's a great guy, but we're seeing no personality from Tanner. But I will hand it to him. He handled that conversation, the breakup, all of it. In my opinion, respectfully. Should he have accepted the birthday date? Probably not. Could have dumped her either way.
Yeah.
But I think he knew it was over. He's like, I don't want to be with, let alone propose to a woman who doesn't show, character traits that is something I want in my wife, mother of my children, yada, yada. Who knows what he would like in the future. But he saw the end was near. He used the date as a way to get the fuck away from her and start planting those seeds.
Yep.
Happened to be on her birthday. That is totally on the producers. Honestly, great television, but not Tanner's fault. So that is over.
Yep.
He goes for Davia, talks about her different colored eyes. Every single time we see him, the man has
Dude.
no personality. Get your own thing.
He's
Also, have you ever seen Kate Bosworth? Other people have multicolored eyes. Get over it.
Yeah.
And they're not even together, it seems like.
It's
after.
embarrassing for you,
Yeah,
man.
it's
Like
just
the
lame.
fact that you bring it up multiple times, it's the equivalent of being like,
superficial.
wow, you have a great boobs.
Well,
Oh my God. Or
yeah.
wow, your hair is unbelievable. Or just saying it multiple. It's like, yeah, the thing I was born with that I do anything to earn is what you like most about me.
Yeah.
Love that.
That's
Can you
not
maybe
great.
find something that I actually built or
Can
created or
control.
worked on myself
Yeah.
that I can be proud of instead of just something my parents gave me through genetics? That'd be great. Thanks.
Jesus, couldn't get a word. I was trying to poke in there. But it's giving on Zach's season, where a lot of these women are from. Kat is from there. When all he would say about Kat is she looks like a model. I've never dated a model. Literally, that was it. So it's
Yep.
like those kind of things to a beautiful woman who knows she's beautiful. Davia knows she's got it going on. She's a bitch. A boss-ass bitch, excuse me. I say bitch in an endearing way. She'd get it. She doesn't need to hear that. We want to be told, like, things about our insides sometimes, guys. So, yes. Let's move on from Kat for now. We're going to talk about her the whole fucking time. Let's run through some of the less notable, important,
Prevalent.
exciting couples.
Yeah.
We got Blake and Jess. Blake came on, in our eyes, as Bachelor Nation fans, viewers. Blake is, he's not a bachelor, but he's up there and might as well have been. He got engaged and won his season. He's been on Claire's season, Tasia's. He's had a good run. he's a guy that's really well respected in the community. I thought a lot of women would go harder for Blake. Gotta be honest, I see why they're not. Blake's
Yeah.
boring. I don't even think he's that handsome. He's just not my personal type. But so many people think he is like so hot.
Sorry, but
I don't get it.
short-haired, smaller
Good guy,
beard, not
basic,
looking for you.
boring.
The old look is
Meh.
better look. But
He has
sorry.
like the old dad vibe of the beach. He just doesn't seem happy to be there. He's boring. And Jess is like probably one of the youngest. She's the girl known for sunshine and glitter. And I see on paper why they're a really good match, but even Jess gets a little bored.
Yep.
They have a little moment where they kind of split up, give each other space. And we see Jess kiss Tyler, who is with Mercedes, another couple that seems to be going strong, but we're not seeing them, which makes us as a viewer think there's a reason we're not seeing them. They're not going to go the distance. It's not an important storyline that the producers want us to see and fall in love with and keep building. So seeing Jess and Tyler kiss, first of all, did they tell anybody? Because now we're at the next episode and no one's talking about it. Wouldn't Mercedes be pretty upset about that? And same with Blake. But
a little confused.
Well, Blake obviously goes on a date with a woman whose name I can't fucking think. Genevieve. And she is stunning. They have a kayak date. Goes great. Comes back. Obviously, him and Jess are going to be together. But they both strayed for a minute. We'll see what happens with that. I like Jess. She's super sweet and cute. She gives me a little immaturity vibes. The way she can't have a conversation without crying. I'm a crier, so I can totally get it. But I don't know. Get it together, girl.
She's got room for growth.
But I think she's great. She's a good quality character human. You know, I think she's a good person. I think Blake is too. They're like, hey, we're the two good people here.
She's solid.
Will it last? No. But yes, we see a little mix there. So we'll see what happens with the Tyler, Mercedes, Blake, Jess vibe. As of right now, they're going semi-steady.
Kylie and Avon are the same way.
Kylie and Avon. Well, they are solid, going to be together, it seems like.
They could
We're not
propose.
seeing them a lot, which makes me think, are they getting engaged? Because we aren't seeing any of their cute moments to make us care, you know?
I think the show is so desperate for drama because there's so little of it that we're not getting a lot of screen time for normal, healthy, loving couples.
Maybe because it's after, it goes Golden Bachelor, and then right after the same night airs Paradise. So maybe they're like, it's going to be, maybe they were nervous, like Bachelor in Paradise was going to be too wholesome and that it wasn't going to go off well. Like it ended up being amazing. Everyone loves it. But maybe they were like, it's going to be so wholesome. We need to give them like a messy drama afterwards in Paradise, or everyone's going to be like, what the fuck?
You might be right.
So I agree with where you were getting with that, where they're showing less of the love stories, more of the mess. And honestly, I don't give a shit about Avon and Kylie's love story, so I'm here for that.
Sorry, Avon. Sorry, Kylie.
So let's talk about Olivia a little bit. Olivia probably has, besides Kat, I would have guessed, the most screen time this season. She was not a big player on her season, but I think she was on Zach's with Kat and all them. Did not see a lot of her on her season at all. She might have been a night oneer. She was actually, for sure. She has some connections in the beginning with Will. Rest in peace, Paradise Will. He had a tough go. He got dumped by like 2 different people. He seems like a nice guy. Whatever. Don't give a fuck either. And then Olivia catches the catch of a lifetime, it seems like. Vibrating tongue ring himself, welder John Henry. Interestingly enough, we do little fantasy brackets when we watch new seasons of The Bachelor and Bachelorette. Gives us a exciting, fun thing to bet on. And he bet that John Henry was going to win charity season.
Yeah, so I will say.
He went home night 1.
John Henry
He's a hottie.
He's one of those guys, gals, whatever gender, doesn't matter, where the outside and the inside, there's a little bit of a disconnect.
Yeah, what's going on in there?
Yeah, he seems really boring, unfortunately.
I agree.
And just like, and not just in,
he's a pretty face with not much going on there.
I mean, like he has this really exciting job, which is cool, but it's just like
it's like his whole personality.
He doesn't really have like a je ne sais quoi. There's no like
Well, he's
energy.
painted
There's no
up. He's
like,
got a weird tongue ring, which
yeah,
says
on the
a
outside,
lot.
he's there, but there's just like this aspect of him
We're
that's
not
just like,
seeing the true John Henry.
yeah, he's
He's
just,
not showing his like dirty, weird side because
it's
he's
like,
got a weirdness in
where's
there.
the passion? Where's the personality? He's very much like a golden retriever almost, but like
Yeah,
not like the golden retriever that like you're excited to
like the
see.
scared,
More just the golden
sad
retriever
one.
that you're like, oh yeah, it's there. It's a golden retriever. All right, cool. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm not trying to be mean to the guy, but
Oh, he's
it's
super
just
cute. He is hot as hell.
no, he's very
Yeah,
attractive. And the thing
I get
is,
it.
him and Olivia are actually a pretty good match, I think, because
Yes,
she's
yes.
extremely outspoken.
Personalities and
She's a big personality.
yep.
She's attractive, but she's
She
probably
knows her
not.
worth. She's confident. Got it together.
She's
Yeah.
probably not exactly the equivalent of his attractiveness, just on like a
No,
non-personality
she's
basis.
beautiful, but
No, she is.
he's hot.
They're a great match. She brings out some of that stuff, whatever have you.
I liked them together.
But old Johnny boy, because he probably hasn't had the greatest date in history, doesn't have as much confidence in
The
himself,
dude
doesn't
has a vibrating
understand.
tongue ring. I think he's doing just fine. He's tatted up. That
Babe,
dude is slaying the dating game.
you
He
had a
is.
tongue ring when I met you. It's not like you were some killer player, all right? Like, stop making assumptions.
Okay, I don't need you to put me on blast like that. I never had a vibrating tongue ring. That's
A
fucking
vibrating tongue thing
disgusting.
sounds like something a child would get.
A
Like, no
vibrating
offense.
tongue ring is something he's putting in for special occasions, if you know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, but I also feel like, no,
Ugh.
it's just fluff. He also just says it to
To be
feel
a
good about
badass,
himself.
yeah.
No, it's bullshit.
We don't, I will say I don't want to make as many presumptions as you are because we really don't know this dude at all. I
He
will
could be a
also
freak
say
behind the sheets. Totally fair.
nobody
But
cares. Okay, I
yeah.
will also say I think part of the reason we're not getting a lot from him is because he got off night one. He's not comfortable in front of the cameras. He's a more demure, quiet, simple dude. So it's like he's not sitting there like, razzle dazzle. You know, he's like, I've never been on the show before, as far as he's concerned. He showed nothing in the one night he was on Charities. He didn't
Yeah.
have the chance to. So he's being careful. You know, he's like more calculated and careful right now because he's like, these people are comfortable. They know what they're doing. They're putting it all out there. I'm going to ease into it and get comfortable. So it's like we're not seeing a lot. This last episode or so, we're starting to see him come out of his shell a little bit. I mean, spoiler alert, Kat gets dumped by Tanner. What does she do? As Brayden calls it, she's homie hopping. She goes to John Henry. A lot of people are villainizing her for this move. I don't think it's that bad. Did she owe Olivia a heads up? Like, hey, I'm going to be honest. I know you guys have a thing. I'm single now. He's the dude I'm the most into now. I'm going to pursue it. She could have done that. I would have respected it a lot. She's not wrong because she's single now to go for somebody else. That's the name of this fucking game.
Yeah, she's fine. Really,
Yeah, I
in my
don't think
opinion,
that's crazy.
it's JH. It's John Henry, who at one point,
He
in the
owed
most
Olivia
recent
more
episode,
respect. Yeah.
he literally says, I'm not going to judge her by, no, it's, God,
All her actions
he's
that
such
she's
he's
shown.
such a child,
Like,
though.
bro,
He's like,
throwing the cake.
oh,
Like,
she's
she's the
changed
worst.
recently. She's shown
Well, he
me
said, I'm
sides
seeing
of
another
herself
side. Yeah.
I haven't seen before
And we're
because,
not seeing
yes,
those
she's
conversations.
desperate for a rose.
Yeah.
And then two, he's like, I'm not going to judge her based on what happened
The
with
facts.
Brandon. I'm not going to judge her
Based on
based
her
on what happened with
actions and what
Tanner.
I
It's like,
see.
no, bro, judge her. You're seeing exactly what she's doing to
People are
every guy.
showing
She's
you
not doing
what
it
they
to
want
you.
to see.
And the
Yeah.
fact is, because she's, in your opinion, probably the most attractive girl
She's
you've ever had a
gorgeous,
shot at,
yeah.
he's willing to forget all of that. So I will say, John Henry's ultimate
Fucking up.
happiness or sadness, he is entirely responsible for because he knows, wow, this girl that I normally think I can't get is willing to get with me. And even though all signs tell me she's only willing to be with me because all these other things didn't work out and she's desperate just to stay, I'm okay with that and I'll accept that.
Fuck it.
We'll
YOLO.
accept the love we think we deserve. And JH, you deserve better, my
Ooh.
guy.
Perks of Being a Wallflower, I believe that was.
Props. Yeah.
I love that book and the movie. But yes, that hits hard. But totally agree. I think he is smart enough, maybe not, but we're giving him a lot of credit in the brain department. He's has the self-awareness enough to know like Olivia is a really stand-up person. That's wife material right there.
Yeah.
But I'm young, I'm dumb. That girl smoking fucking hot. What are you gonna do? You know, he goes for Kat. Let's just get that over with. We see at the rose ceremony, it is the women's pick. We're all wondering, or I'm sorry, it's the men's pick. We're all wondering what John Henry is going to do. He's keeping it pretty close to the chest. I think at this point the viewers can guess what's going to happen. He's picking Kat, but they have a moment in a hot tub, and he literally says, he essentially alludes to the fact like, hey, if you're really into me and this isn't just a game for you, let me know, and it's done. It's on, So she, of course, says, I'm really into you. I'm feeling it. Are you going to kiss me kind of thing? And he's like, I've been waiting to kiss you the last 3 days. They make out. It's a done deal. But his big fuck up there, he's human. He's allowed to pick who he wants to be with. I don't think he's a villain for this either. This is a dating fucking game, people. People are going to move around and date. But before the rose ceremony, he owed Olivia a conversation. Because Olivia thinks it's 50-50 fair game right now when he's already made up his mind well before the ceremony. And then ceremony happens. He gives the rose to Kat. Not super surprising, but he says something to her like, I want to give this rose to the person I could really see myself being with outside of this, and that person's you. That was unnecessary. Like, Olivia has done nothing wrong. She has been lovely as fuck, fought for you from day one.
JH is the child.
Gave you a rose, I'm pretty sure, is the reason you're fucking here. You can pick another woman, but still be semi-respectful about it. But he apologizes later, and he said right after that, I felt like shit. That was wrong of me. I owed you more than that. So I like that he apologized. It felt sincere, too. But, of course, Olivia, being the goat, is like, oh, so you're coming to apologize to me to clear your conscience. Got it. Go.
Love it.
That was a heat of the moment response, but that's a K-Dog response.
I think Olivia's going home, right? But.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, yeah. Get into the Becca and Brayden of it all real quick, because that's exactly what it was. Real quick.
Yeah, exactly right. Brayden, maybe this is a good redemption season for him, right? I don't think the last, Bachelorette put him in the greatest light in terms of the viewers, but this season's really, changed a little bit. But yeah, he had a great relationship. Becca, they had this great date. They're going to things.
Well, first he had Rachel. They had a great date.
Yeah.
Becca comes in the next day, takes him on a date. Rachel who? Which is fine. Again, it's the game.
So he's obsessed with Becca. Great date. All this stuff. They're locked in. They're not talking to other people. They show up to the rose ceremony. And who doesn't show up to the rose ceremony? Little Miss Becca. And she's like, you know what? I'm thinking if there's any chance this doesn't go right, I'm just going to go ahead and dip out now.
Do the old Irish goodbye.
Yeah, rather than like risking Brayden being a fuckboy ultimately and not wanting to deal with that, I'm just going to assume that's likely to happen. And I'm just going to be like,
meh, better not.
I'm good. I'm chilling. And then not only does she like verbally Irish goodbye, but literally Jesse thinks he's walking her back to the rose ceremony.
He goes and gets her.
Literally just dips out. And all of a sudden Jesse's like, wait, what?
Producer's like, where'd she go? She went upstairs.
She's gone? Yeah. And then Jesse's come back, be like, you have to imagine Jesse in his head is like, damn it, I thought I had her.
No, he's probably like, this is better though.
Maybe
at the end of the day, for a minute, he's like, where the fuck should she go? But then he's like, ratings. It's fine.
I don't know if Jesse thinks that way, but maybe.
He certainly does. He is Dark Lord Palmer. He's eye on the prize. He is a
Dark
producer's
Lord Palmer. But
he's sucking those producers.
So yeah, Becca ends up leaving. Brayden ends up being stuck with
so funny.
a rose to give out. And who's the only one left to get a rose from him?
Well, there's a few women to choose from. But he does the best possible outcome here. Gives the rose to Olivia. She fights to live another day. I'm getting the vibe like she might end up leaving on her own accord. She's not going to want to sit there and watch evil-ass Cat with her old man.
No.
It's just like the battle of good and evil. Of course, evil wins. It's just so typical. We cannot end this without talking briefly about Aaron B. and Eliza. In my opinion, the couple most likely headed to a proposal. The saving grace of this season, we thought.
True.
But good old Charity, Queen, comes down, plants a little seed into Eliza's ear. I think we talked about it last time. Kat has told Eliza, if we didn't touch on it really quick, Kat has told Eliza that coming in, Charity told her all the guys are awesome, but one maybe warning, I'd probably stay away from Aaron B. After my season, I had a bunch of DMs from ex-girlfriends. Seems messy. Excuse me, Eliza is on alert now. Talks to Aaron B about it. He kind of fumbles the bag and says like, oh no, it wasn't just one ex-girlfriend. I am team Aaron B all day, always. He is human. He's allowed to date before going on his show. Now, he's not like Jed, who literally had a girlfriend, left her like love notes being like, doing this for clout, BRB, baby, love you. Aaron dumped a girl months before getting the opportunity to go on this season. He's not wrong for that. We all have a past. These losery exes, I'm just going to say it, fighting for 5 seconds of internet fame, are fucking stupid. He dumped your ass, girl. Get over it. You mad? Seems like it. So I don't think he's some bad guy for having fucking exes that are being clout-chasing losers. Sorry, not sorry. Eliza comes, they chat. Of course, dun dun dun. Bring on more drama. Charity comes down. Aaron literally says something like, how is Charity about to come here and ruin my life? You know. Charity talks with Eliza. Queen on queen energy.
It all ended up being okay, actually. We thought maybe things were going to go sideways.
I didn't think that. I knew it would be okay.
It ended up being a good conversation. They ended up being nice.
Well, she tells her the facts she knows, but essentially says, like, Aaron was nothing but respectful and a gentleman on my season. You know, just giving you the facts, do with it what you will. But she essentially says, like, she doesn't know that she believes these women either.
Yeah, it makes it more suspicious for Kat, the way that Kat communicated it, because Sherry didn't
that was
communicate
Kat's
the
fault.
exact same.
I think the producers were like, go tell her this right now.
Probably.
And Kat's like, yes, sir. Kat's a producer's dream, too.
But even still, yeah, I mean...
Who knows? We don't know.
But it essentially just creates more work for Aaron B to have to reestablish some of that trust with Eliza, which he's able to throughout the episode. And I think they're working back to a point where they probably will get engaged.
I mean, they're, again, the saving grace couple.
Yeah.
No one cares if Kylie and Avon get engaged. Before we wrap, I have to say, get out of there. Football's on. He's going to lose his mind if we don't watch it soon. Same. Ready to pop some mimosas and get it going. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
That's why I'm wearing my
nuts.
Kyler Murray jersey.
Yeah.
He's been hurt all year and it's his first game back. So,
oh my God.
let's go,
Thank
Kyler.
God. Yay. Anyways, I do have him in one league, so I am pretty happy. But anyways, do have to touch on some Twitter drama that I've seen.
Ooh,
that
okay.
you don't know about.
I know nothing.
Not sure how it started, but Olivia and Kylie were beefing on Twitter. X. I'm calling it Twitter. Get over it, Elon Musk. But they're beefing a little bit, arguing about something. Avon joins the conversation, which deeply hints to Avon and Kylie being together still. Because why are you getting involved in these two women's beef publicly online? Embarrassing. Hard ick. Hate when men do that. Like, stop it right now. If you're not together. Okay. He enters the chat and says something super disrespectful along the lines of, ats Olivia and goes, oh, a day one gets 15 seconds of fame and now thinks she's somebody. Or something like that. I'm just going to say, fuck you, Avon, you trash bag. Talking to women like that in any form is not okay. To memorialize it in writing and typing, for the whole internet to see. Supporting your woman is one thing. You look like the biggest loser. These are grown-ass women. Let them fight for themselves. Also, to come and insult someone because they're a night one, she might be a night one. You went all the way to the end and got your ass dumped, okay? Nobody cares. And now you're on the beach barely being seen because you're boring and irrelevant. And Olivia is the queen of paradise with the most screen time. I just thought that was really icky. Bad taste in my mouth now for Avon and Kylie,
Yeah.
I see who Kylie is. Similar Cat vibes, in my opinion. Very gorgeous girl. I'm sure she has nice qualities. Not a fan. I do not like the team up of a guy and girl coming for Olivia like that. She didn't deserve it. And the whole argument, a night one person is the lamest argument. diss somebody because they went home night one because some person didn't think they were the one for them is so dumb.
Tell me you don't understand what actually makes people tick.
Yeah, that was
more
so.
than
I think
using
highly
that
deserve
as a
each
way to
other.
come
They're
at
both
people.
immature.
Yeah, I mean,
two immature hot people deserve each other. They're gonna break up in 5 months. Let's be real. You know, come on.
So I do think as we close up shop here on Bachelor in Paradise,
Just had to get that off my chest.
I do want to say,
Did not like
I don't
that.
know if it's our next episode or when we're going to do it, but
we'll keep talking about it.
No, what has been absolute fire that we're going to need to talk about for y'all sooner than later, Love Island games.
If you are a Love Island fan,
Fire. Oh my God. Get in there.
Yeah, if you're a Love Island fan and you have not started Love Island games on Peacock, what is you doing?
If you like Love Island
10 out of 10.
and you like the challenge, God damn it, Love Island games is right up your alley. So, just going to leave you with that little tease because a lot of goodness there.
We'll talk about that for sure. We'll talk about that. We will keep talking about Paradise, of course, Golden Bachelor. Cannot wait to see what happens with our precious angel Gary. Earth, God, protect this man. Until next time, we're the Ives. Go watch some football. Go watch reality TV. Woo! Love you guys.
Appreciate y'all. Take care, everyone.
Follow.
See ya.